Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today we're taking a look at Lattafa Qaaed Intense. All right, so Qaaed Intense is from the House of Lattafa. It's an eau de parfum concentration, and I picked this sucker up for $30 at Joma Shop. Link will be down in the description if you decide you want to check this one out. We have ourselves a flanker to the famous, infamous Lattafa Qaaed. This is the second flanker. There was the Qaaed El Shabab, which is a very strong, leathery style of fragrance, and now we have this one. Very similar presentation to this with this cylinder can, if you will. It has a nice kind of a faux leather casing on it. Very similar to the original Qaaed. Also has this kind of like Victorian pattern, silvery, shimmery thing, name of the fragrance right there, and it is a slide off top like that, revealing our bottle sitting in this nice little podium. So box presentation, can presentation on this, pretty nice. Bottle, very similar to the other two Qaaeds in this series, has this kind of knurling texture to it. Cap on this, a little bit lightweight, but it does have some thickness to it, so it won't crush in your powerful hands. And the atomizer on this, quite nice, good distance, good distribution. So overall presentation on this, pretty nice. So if you're wondering what Lattafa Qaaed Intense smells like, you've come to the right place, because I'm about to tell you. Some of the notes listed in this are tobacco, white honey, cinnamon, vanilla, cacao, patchouli, myrrh, amber, styrex, and French labdanum. So let me tell you what I get from this fragrance. In the opening, you get that really nice, dusty, dry style of white honey mixing in with that tobacco. Little hints of that warm, spicy cinnamon come through, and you get this nice vanilla as well. So nice mix of some sweetness, but it's a very dry, powdery style of opening, a very kind of irisy style of powderiness that comes through. And it mixes in with those earthy tones, that little hint of spice, and that sweetness. Really, really nice. So if you're into powdery style of fragrances, you're gonna enjoy the opening on this one. As it opens up a little bit more, you get some additional sweetness coming through. More of a balsamic, resiny sweetness from that myrrh. You get some hints of that cacao coming through. Adds a bit of additional spice, kind of a chocolatiness to it as well, but the vanilla is really holding up the sweetness on this, along with that myrrh. As you work towards the dry down though, it gets smoothed out a little bit. That powderiness that's in the opening, which is a very powdery opening, does tone down a little bit. It still has that ambery style of texture to it, but it does kind of smooth out a little bit more. The French labdanum kind of pokes its head through just ever so slightly, giving it a hint of some woodiness, a little bit of a leathery touch to it as well, but it really starts to smooth out into kind of a nice, warm, deep, sweet style of fragrance with that vanilla really coming through. Hints of that cacao just lingering on the edges, and overall it's just a really beautiful, sexy, gentlemanly, sophisticated style of scent DNA that comes through. Just a nice balance of those earthy tones with the patchouli and the tobacco mixing in with those sweet accords from the vanilla, the myrrh, and just some added spices that are in there. Really, really nice. This has been compared to Givenchy Gentleman Privé, as well as Boise, as well as Dior Homme Intense. There are similarities for sure. It has that powderiness from the Dior Homme, has that kind of gentlemanly accord coming from the Givenchy's as well. So definitely in that genre, in that neighborhood. I wouldn't say it's a direct one-to-one clone of any of those fragrances, but it's definitely gonna get you that same sort of feel. I'd say it's a little bit closer to the Givenchy Gentleman Privé than it is anything else, but overall, definitely gonna get you in that neighborhood. So if you're into those fragrances, if you're into nice kind of warm, deep, sweet style of fragrances, a little bit of a mystique, some allure to it, you might want to check this one out. So when it comes to the performance of Lattafa Qaaed Intense, this is more kind of a soft, alluring style of fragrance. Projection on this is decent for the first hour and a half. It does go beyond an arm's length before it does settle back in. People are definitely going to smell you, but at that point, it does get very close at that point. It is a very close encounter, date night, intimate style of fragrance at that point, has that kind of allure to it. So it's not pushing off very hard at that point. So like I said, projection is decent for that first hour and a half, but after that, it really does sit fairly close to your skin. But I'm not disappointed with the longevity. I did find this lasted a decent amount of time off my skin. I just kind of wish it projected off a little bit more, created a bit better of a scent bubble. So definitely not a beast mode fragrance. The intense part of this, I'm not sure if it's just the scent profile they're referring to, but it's definitely not the performance. So overall, it's an okay performer, but I'm not disappointed, but I'm definitely not thrilled. So my overall thoughts on Lattafa Qaaed Intense. I think this is a good fragrance. I think the scent profile on this is really nice, especially if you're into powdery style of fragrances, that kind of dustiness that comes from an iris fragrance and the white honey that's in this that kind of gives it that really powdery, dusty, dry sort of feel going on to it. I do enjoy that one, but if you don't, you're not going to enjoy this one. I just like a little bit of variety, and powdery fragrances fits the bill for me. I really like the sweet accords that come through with this, the mix of spice, the earthiness that's in here as well, that mix of sweetness, the balsamic sweetness, the resinous sweetness mixing with that vanilla amberiness, just really kind of sexy, flirty, gentlemanly vibes going on to it. So I really enjoy the scent profile on this, and I think it's just a great date night, fall, winter style of fragrance. I do wish the performance was a little bit better. You can't win them all, and it is, when it comes to a date night, I think this is a great fragrance, but I do wish the performance was a little bit better. So overall, for 30 bucks, I think this was a good pickup, but you make up your own mind. That's Lattafa Qaaed Intense. And I want to hear from you guys. What's the next Lattafa fragrance I should be reviewing? Comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. I love getting your different recommendations, your hidden gems, different tastes and scent profiles. Appreciate you. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.